What's up, y'all? This is Lord Demos here. Last time I asked y'all to choose between a few things, and y'all chose to talk about Gollum or Smeagol. Either way you want to call him. I'll probably reference him back and forth as the same person, but we all know him as what he is. But what I was going to talk to you about when it comes to Smeagol is that I view him as more of an important character than you could actually think of. He is technically, Smeagol himself technically is a hobbit. And if we remember correctly from even the Lord of the Rings movies, what did Galadriel say? That hobbits will have more effect on the world and change the fate of the world than anyone else. And it's true. Every hobbit had a role to play. But most people don't consider Gollum or slash Smeagol his role. But he had the most important things. He was someone that, yes, we can all say, yeah, we can pity him. He's a pathetic creature and all. But all in all, he's still this amazing creature. Being, he was something that I believe the hobbits represent. And as Tolkien said, they were the normal people, the average Joes, the people that most people don't notice because they're just average. Not saying they're not important, it's just saying most of the time their effect on the world was very minimal. But usually when the biggest thing's about to play out, usually you see the normal people change things. And each character was a representation of that. Sorry, I'm still fighting this bronchitis crap. Some days I'm really good, I can talk very well, and other days I can't. But anyway, the whole concept is each hobbit representing a different part of humanity. And I can elaborate on that on another video if you want. We'll talk about that later. But mostly, Smeagol represents the addiction. The self-serving. Mostly that's what he is. A very self-serving creature. Self-serving person, basically. I mean, think about it. Yeah, you can say he's an addict for the ring and everything, but what makes him really unique is that he wasn't like most addiction addicts and stuff like that. He was intelligent. I'm not saying he was like a super smart being, but he was more intelligent than what you would believe someone like him to be. But he just wasn't just that. I mean, look how far he planned to kill Frodo and them. He took them all the way he literally led them all the way to Sheila. You know, he did all these different things. He kept up with them. He knew how to avoid the orcs. He knew how to avoid the elves, the humans. He hated elves. And I believe that the reason is mostly with self-serving and addicts and stuff like that. Things that are pure represents things, the knowledge that they would have to accept that they were in the wrong. They are the bad people. They are incorrect. Elves are that kind of people. They were pure. They're supposed to be the pure beings. Good beings, people of light, you know, angels amongst men. And so their stuff and everything about them aggravated him. You see that when Frodo and them tie him up with the rope and everything? He kept saying it burns, it burns, it burns. And most people thought that was just some weird... No, it actually in the books, it references him and his dislike for elves and stuff. And there was an elven rope. The elven rope actually burned him because he didn't like the elves. He didn't like the purity of the elves. He didn't like anything like that. He was so self-serving that if it wasn't about him, he could not cope with it. Smeagol was a very unique character. I mean, they make a point that evil let him go, so they can track Frodo and all them. But to be honest, I look at it as this: pure evil does not want like self. Yes, you could say they like self-serving people to use, but in the end, they don't trust self-serving people because their interests will always go above what evil wants. What these beings, what Sauron and all of them were trying to do, they knew these self-serving people would never work for them properly. But Gollum was so pathetic and so weak and everything. It was more evil to keep him alive, because it was to kill him would give him mercy, and orcs and them, they don't give mercy. But you see, Frodo and Bilbo and even Sam, they couldn't kill him because they saw him pathetic and useless. They were the dregs. He was just some dreg of the world, but he is something amazing because of that. Right there. His own self-interest in who he was kept him alive. And because of his self-interest, his thought process, because it was all about him, everything around him evolved. Look at him. Watch how he acts. Watch the movies again. Everything evolved around him. He even calls himself precious. We hurts us. Things like that. It was all about Gollum. He represents that part of humanity. That doesn't technically make him evil. Yeah, you can say he did evil deeds on some level, but it was all because it was self-serving. He needs what he wants. He wants what he wants. He is him. If they gave him the ring, he would have disappeared and everything would have been gone. Yeah, Mordor would have probably hunted his ass down, but he would have never done bad things. He would just kept on running because that was self-serving, because he only cared about himself. And that's the concept. See, Frodo failed because of what he was. And long story short, I just believe Frodo represented that person that would do everything right, but in the end, they're the ones who turn because it became what they were trying to stop. Not because they wanted to, it happened. Gollum's self-interest is what caused the downfall of darkness, because he saw a moment that he could take back, and he took it. But in his moment of self-happiness and everything, he killed him. He was destroyed, and he destroyed the ring. So Gollum saved the world. Gollum was the one who did it. And he was a hobbit. He did change the face of everything. But see, most people don't realize this either. The ring brings out the worst of people. So these characteristics were already in Smeagol. It just enhanced him. I mean, the book showed that he was a thief. He became a trickster and all these things. He did horrible acts to the point his own family disregarded and kicked him out. So many people did so many things to this character. But here's the thing. The ring never planned for him. The ring it thought it was going to be able to control him better, but because of his own self-interest, it couldn't. It literally states that it escaped Gollum finally, because it realized it could not force this being to do anything else but serve himself. To go bring the ring to Saruman or anything like that was against Gollum's personality. That's my point, is Gollum actually hindered the ring more. And in the end, he was the one who destroyed the ring. This being the self-interest character shows that sometimes it's the one person you don't expect that's going to save the world. Not because of what they want, Not because they want to save the world. It's because what they want it just lines up with what they want. Or what they want backfires. Like it did with Gollum. He was so happy he wasn't paying attention. He fell into lava and killed himself. But that's the point. Is not even evil could predict him. He was a character on the board that was not controlled by any side. It even states that, even Tolkien stated that he saw Gollum as the dark guy, the bad guy. Like, Gandalf was the good guide for Frodo and them, and Gollum was the dark one. But he wasn't really a dark being. He was just someone who just wanted what he wanted. The reason he teamed up with Frodo and them was out of self-interest. That's my whole point. Is this character was, yes, pathetic and everything, but he was... You see these kind of people in our world. Very self-interest characters. And Tolkien just expressed it better, deeper. Pretty much ripped off all the other layers and showed you this is what they look like, really. Feared. He was just consumed with fears. But he was a brave being, because he didn't just, he was scared. No, he took these characters on. He took things on. He fought. He killed. He did all these things. So that's my point. Gollum, Smeagol, was a hobbit that had more influence on the entire world than you actually could put together. Look at everything he did with the ring, and when he was trying to get the ring back, all that. He hurt the ring more than any character on there. He had more influence over that ring. Not saying he was forcing his will on it. It's just he was a hindrance to the ring. And the ring had no way to escape him. Alright, I'm going to get on to the for next time. We can still do the orcs. My opinion on the orcs and their different species and how the movies and the books took them in different routes. I personally like how the movies did the orcs and everything, but I have my opinions and stuff like that to do with them. And then there's we can talk about the ring itself, how each ring, well, we'll just talk about the one ring this time, and the influence it had on the world and what it was its significance. And then we can also do, like I said, the hobbits. What I view each hobbit as, what their character represented for each person. You know what I'm saying? What they were. And that includes Bilbo, just so you know. Bilbo was another character I believe represented within the Lord of the Rings. I don't care what anyone says. Bilbo was, yes, the part of the Hobbit, but Bilbo, if it wasn't for Bilbo, the whole thing would never played out anyway. So anyway, so y'all choose between the Hobbits, the Orcs, or the Ring. All right, now I'll see y'all in a couple weeks. I hope y'all enjoyed y'all's holidays and hope y'all enjoy the new year. I'm so far enjoying it, except for the ice and snow slowing us all down, but we can't control the weather, all right? All right, I'll see y'all next time.